very comfortable to stand and ride on this motorcycle. It almost feels like a toy, and you can see the vibration over the mirrors if there is any. What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the detailed review of the Royal Enfield Himalayan BS6. So I was really excited to ride this motorcycle, and finally I got to ride one, that too for about 400 to 500 kilometer. So thank you very much Royal Enfield for giving this motorcycle as a test ride experience. So let's get into the review. I have to say that I was so much pumped to ride this motorcycle, plus to the fact that they gave this motorcycle, it's a brand new motorcycle, okay? It's a very brand new motorcycle. You can see that it's in TC still now, so it's a test ride bike and it just got registered yesterday and I got it, and it looks so neat and so clean. And I have to say that the new paint scheme looks good, in fact, and the glossy finish. To be honest, I'm a fan of glossy finish motorcycles. The previous black Himalayan looks so good, but what happened is that the paint just fades away, especially when you take it off-roads and all, the paint just fades away. So on this one I can see that this color is looking so nice. You have to see that by person. And I have to say that in fit and finish, this motorcycle is brilliant. There is nowhere I can see that something is unattended or any welding which looks ugly, or any unattended wires, or some part which is unpainted. So everything looks neat and clean. In fact, I was hoping for that red and black scheme, but I have to say that I just fallen in love with the white and the blue paint scheme now. So let's look into the technical details of this motorcycle. So looking from the previous version, the previous BS4 version, I expected that this motorcycle will be going a little low on power or torque figures, because I rode the Classic 350 a week back. In my detailed video I told that compared to the BS4 version, the BS6 was less punchy, but on this one I couldn't feel that. In my opinion, I don't feel any kind of changes. But when you take it to the top end, with the previous Himalayan I was able to do a 135 km/h as top end, like locking down the throttle, but on this one I was able to do 130, and the motorcycle is like saturated. But 120 is like a safe speed. Upon that I don't suggest anyone to take this motorcycle. So that's the engine part, and I have to say that the engine has got refined, and you can see that in the exhaust note also. It's a little more refined, and it feels lighter also from the engine side, in the sense, not in terms of heaviness, but altogether the motorcycle has gone a little more refined, a little more subtle with the exhaust note. You don't get that but that feel of the Enfield with this Himalayan now. But the exhaust note is sweet. I'll record a pure sound video, you can watch that. So majorly the only way to differentiate a BS4 and a BS6 is this portion over here, the catalytic converter. Apart from that, no technical changes. So yeah, let's get on to the motorcycle and talk. So getting onto the motorcycle, what I can say that this is not a tall motorcycle. With my height, I'm okay with it. I'm able to manage the weight of this motorcycle with almost planted foot on both sides. The motorcycle is little wide, that's the only thing. If it is a little more slim, then probably I would have had a complete planted foot. So looking onto the handlebar, all basic switches. Starting from here, we have the engine kill switch, and this is a hazard lamp switch. And you have the ignition here. There is a choke switch here, and the pass switch, the high beam and low beam, indicator switch, and the horn. That's all very basic. And coming on to the dash and system, it's all same, pretty much all same when you look at the BS4 version. Apart from that, there is some graphic difference between the BS4 and the BS6. So when you turn on the key, yeah, you can see this speedometer, and this is the tachometer, and this is the fuel meter. I'm not so much happy with this fuel meter, because yesterday I was riding and suddenly it started showing low fuel. Until then it was showing almost full like this, and it immediately dropped in. So I doubt the accuracy of this fuel meter. And this is a compass. So looking on to the dial section over here, I can see the time here, the gear position indicator, the odometer, and there are 2 trip meters here. By pressing this switch, we can see the 2 trip meters and the average speed for that, and it shows an ambient temperature. That's all, very basic thing. And this is a side stand indicator, and this is side stand sensor also. So when you put the motorcycle in gear, and if the side stand is on, the motorcycle will cut off by itself. So that's a good safety feature. So to talk about the seat, in fact I have little mixed feelings about the seat. When I was riding almost 200 km in one stretch, the seat is in fact very cushioned. I believe that's the problem when I was riding, because I was getting a slight numb butt when I was riding for around 200 km in one stretch. I believe if I put some seat cover or something, it will be okay. And I remember that my friend was using a gel seat instead of this. He had put a gel cover, so that was much more comfortable. Like I was able to do 200-300 without any numb butt. That's the only problem. There's absolutely no vibration. As I told, with the new motorcycle, the vibrations has gone really low. There's absolutely no vibration on the seat. Very less vibrations on the handlebar, and no vibration on the foot peg. And the mirrors will carry a slight vibration. That's a buzz feel. I cannot call it as a vibration. It's a buzz feel, that's all. And coming on to the brake levers and all, I can see these off-road levers and the off-road foot pegs. These are really nice. I really liked it when I was standing and riding it. Oh, I forgot to tell you the riding posture. So let's get on to the motorcycle. This motorcycle is completely upright and the foot peg is almost in line with the rider, but a little forward set. Not too much like a classic 350 or a Thunderbird. It's slightly forward set, that's all. The handlebar is nice and wide. It is giving a very nice control when you're doing off-roads or city rides, or be it on the highway also. Like, maneuverability is really nice. The one thing which I liked with this is when I stand on the foot peg, I have a very good control over the motorcycle. With my height, this handlebar is at the right position. Okay, I'm talking about the off-roads. The performance of this headlamp is okay. You can use it in city, you can use it in highways, but if you are considering for off-roads, I believe that you need a little more wider beam. When you're turning on the low beam, it is falling over here, so these areas are dark, that area and this area is dark, so you need some more illumination in that sense. So you have to have some auxiliary lights to have more illumination on this part than that. And the brakes are like standard. I don't have any complaints over it. From a speed of 80 or 100, I have full confidence, I don't mind. And the suspension feel is like really nice. I have done a lot of off-road and I came to this place taking a diversion from the highway, and suspension is like really nice. The suspension travel is really good. I'm not that a great off-roader. I cannot do wheelie and all while off-roading, but to an extent I love off-roading a lot. Major change which happened for this motorcycle is switchable ABS, so you can long press this button and disable the ABS and it works really nice. Only one thing is like you have to press it a little hard. With gloves and all, I was not able to press that button, otherwise not a problem. And to talk about the tires are giving good grips, especially on off-roads. Than on the road, this tire is giving good grips on the off-roads. At 80 to 100 km per hour, I'm finding it okay, and I don't find that kind of a great corner confidence on this motorcycle. 60 km is okay if you're having a corner, but around 80 to 100 km per hour, I'm not that much confident in taking a corner, especially long sweeping corners. And the clutch feel is in fact a little tight, but the clutch travel is not that much, so it's not a difficult thing to use it in city, but okay. And the gear shift are like typical ADV motorcycle style. It's like it's little hard. It has to be like that for off-roading motorcycles, so no complaints with it. And let's go for a ride. I've been talking for a long time. Okay, I haven't turned off the ABS. Yeah, the ABS is off now. Ravis lights are too good. So as I told, the exhaust grunt is little less compared to the previous version. It's very comfortable to stand and ride on this motorcycle. It almost feels like a toy. And the low end torque is there, so you can definitely use this motorcycle for hardcore off-roading. But if you're a beginner, I'll tell that you can learn things on an X-Pulse and then come back to a Himalayan for advanced off-roading, because X-Pulse almost feels like a bicycle to me, so that's pretty much easy to off-road. So let's turn on the ABS, long press. So if you can see, then the 3.5k to 4k RPM is the sweet spot of this motorcycle to shift. And like at this cruising speed, like 60 to 80, there is absolutely no wind blast. So the wind is here now. I can feel that. I'll take it to a little more higher speeds. So it's almost 100 km per hour and I can feel the wind on my face, like on my helmet. But these speeds are like super cool. You can always cruise at the speed from 80 to 100. Like the braking is perfect, the suspension works well. But after 120 and all, I can feel that the suspension is a little bit relaxed and you can feel a little wobble on the front wheel. Otherwise, no problem. Let me just show you the power delivery from here. Let's pull it hard. And you can see the vibration over the mirrors if there is any. absolutely no vibration on the seat or the foot peg, so there is a very slight vibration on the handlebar, that's all. So if you are gonna use this motorcycle for city use, you might have to deal with the heaviness of the motorcycle, because it is little heavy, especially if you're short. You will feel that this motorcycle is a little heavy, otherwise no problem. And to talk about the heating issue, this is an air-cooled motorcycle, so if you're having bumper-to-bumper traffic, definitely you're gonna face some heating issue, because this is a single-cylinder 400+ cc motorcycle. There will be heating issues, and in fact the heat is not coming towards the body and all, but I can feel that it on my toes if I'm wearing a chappal. If I'm wearing a shoe, then absolutely no problem. I'm not having any issues. Turning radius is okay. The center of gravity of the motorcycle is little high, so you have to be careful when you're leaning over and taking tight turns. Otherwise no problem. And majorly I'll recommend this motorcycle for city use if you are having lot of broken roads and speed breakers are nothing for this motorcycle. If you are in this speed like 70 to 80, and if you see any speed breaker, just stand on the foot peg. You won't feel anything over your hands or on your foot peg. It's like really cool. The suspension takes it really well, and this is an off-roading motorcycle, so the ground clearance is also excellent. The suspension travel is excellent, no problem. And this motorcycle comes on road for almost 2,42,000 to 2,48,000 in Bangalore, depending on the paint scheme you are choosing. And on an average you can expect a mileage from 25 to 35 km per liter. And from an ownership point of view, you have to do servicing in once in 10,000 kilometers. Of course, you have to do your first service in 500 km. From then on, it's once in 10,000 kilometers, and the labor-free services will cost you 2,000 rupees, and paid service will cost you somewhere from 3,000 rupees. So it's not a big amount considering the fact that this is going once in 10,000 kilometers. So let's see who has to look on to this kind of a motorcycle. So if you're looking for off-roading motorcycles, then this should be your choice. You can comfortably cruise on this motorcycle on highways. That's the best part about it, and you can use it in city also, no problem at all. It's not so difficult to ride, but if you're just looking for city use, I'll say that don't go for this kind of a motorcycle. You can look for some classic 350 or that kind of an Enfield. Himalayan is not the right choice for you. So that's it with this review. I hope you like this video, and if you have any doubts or suggestions, write it down in the comment section. So I hope you like this video, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.